Hey y'all, it's Zach, the legal tech advisor here at Lawyerist, and today I'd like to show you a little demo on Documate. Specifically, I'd like to show you how to create a workflow generated document and put some variables into a template that you already have. And we're going to use a residential lease agreement that I have handy here in order to show you some of this. But right now, as you can see, we're in the master dashboard, and I have created this workflow residential lease to to make this work. I'm going to show you a little bit around in there. So let's drill down into residential lease. And this is something that sets Documate apart a little bit, makes them a little bit different, is that you create these workflows directly out of this this dashboard, and then you put the variables into the document that you want to use. So it's a little different than some of the other applications out there. But as you can see, this is essentially a guided interview that's gonna be created when you run this. And what I've done is we've got a bunch of pages here that's information about the property, information about tenants, children, pets, and then landlord information. And this is just some basic information that one would need if they were creating a lease. So we're asking things like, is the property located in Tennessee? What county is it located in? And then we have a list of counties that they can do a drop down. This is a yes, no. We do a text question, what the street address is, what city, zip. We obviously know that it would be in Tennessee. And then we're going to go to the next page here to show you a little bit more. So with the tenants, right here, what we have is a repeating variable. So when we run this, we're actually going to get, would you like to add more tenants? So I can create as many tenants here as I want to, and it creates essentially an object. So we can put we're getting the first name, the last name, the social security number, and the age of all the tenants that are going to be living here. And then we're doing the same basic thing here with children. So we're going to get the first name, the last name, the date of birth of the children as they go. And you're going to be able to add another one as you create this guided interview, or as you go through the guided interview. So the same thing with pets, just kind of showing how deep we can get. And then we've got the landlord information. Again, this is a repeating item just in case we have more landlords than one. And I'll show you how we use that here in a second. So we'll go ahead and save that. And what we would do is we would connect our template to this output document, and you can see that you can create conditional document outputs, and you can send the finalized document to a particular email address. But you can see that as you do a demo with them if you'd like. Right now, what I want to show you is basically how to get this information into your template. So what I have here is a standard residential lease agreement that I use or have used, and I've put a little bit of information into there already. But we have an add-in that is the Documate add-in, much like Lawyal has one. But we got the Documate add-in here, and it gives you the variables over here on the right-hand side. The workflow that I'm using again is that client intake workflow that I had. Actually, it's called something else now. The residential lease workflow that we had. And we're going to enter some variables in, but you can see that you can just put variables in. You can do conditional showing of particular clauses based on value of a variable that you have. You can show a paragraph based on a value that a variable has, and you can do a lot of somewhat complex number calculations. And then something that a lot of estate planners like is being able to calculate the length of time between two dates. Obviously, a lot of people might like that. And then we have the repeating items here that can be displayed in a lot of different ways. And I'll show you how to use that here in a second. But right now, I've already put a date in here. So we've got the residential lease agreement is entered into this. And then this is formatted the blank day of blank year. So we have the ability to put dates in. And I just used the today many different ways, and I use the day of month comma year, so that's in there already. But what I want to show you here is we've got by in between the lesser, and we might want to put lessors if we have multiple landlords. And so here, what I want to show is we're going to do a show phrase when the landlord info is greater than 1. So if the landlord info is greater than 1, then we want to put lessors. And then we're also going to do a show phrase when it's less than 1 or when it's equal to 1. So we're going to do equal to 1, insert condition, and then we're just going to do Control C, actually Control X for cut, and then paste. And so if the landlord number is 1, then it's just going to be lessor. And if the landlord info number is greater than 1, then it's going to be lessors. So then we want to put the landlord name here. And again, we're dealing with a repeating item. So we're going to go repeating item, list with an Oxford comma, landlord info, full name, and then we're going to insert field. So this is going to say the blank day of month, comma year, by and between, and then it's going to say lessor if it's one landlord or lessors if it's two landlords. And it's going to put a comma separated list of the landlord's full names right here. So if it's one landlord, it's just going to be one name. If it's multiple landlords, it'll be all the landlords that we have. And we can do that with all of the tenants as well, right here. And we can do it with any repeating item that we want. But more importantly, what I want to show you is that we can also do that with tables. So we are going to insert a repeating item. We're going to insert a table, and we're going to do tenants. We're going to say first name, last name, social security number, age, and we're going to insert that field. And you see first name, last name, social security number, age, and all of that information is there. So you can see that this is the beginning of the items, this is the end of the items, and we can actually manipulate this table in the normal way that we would for a Word document. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. You get the idea. And so there is a lot more that Documate can do. The way that we would use this is we would actually upload this document we would save this, we would upload this document into this area right here. We can create conditional outputs where if a property is older than a certain date, we may have to include something like a lead paint addendum or something like that. And so we can create conditional documents, and then we can send the finalized documents to our own email address. That way we can send it on, or other email addresses as you see fit. Now, that's not all that Documate can do. That's just a little bit of a taste. If you want to learn more, you can certainly go to their site and get a free demo. I'm sure they'd be happy to show you around. But that's just a little bit of what they can do, some of their repeating elements, and how their variables get into their documents. So I hope this helps. I hope you learned something, and I will see you around the Lawyerist ecosystem.